All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Movies That Move We. How you doing, Nikay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's raining outside. Summertime is doing its thing. And speaking of summer, we are going to be discussing a movie, a documentary film called what?
Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul. And it has a subtitle, which is Or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. It is a documentary film, as we just said. It's directed by, and when we say directed, that means that it was put together a long time later by Questlove. Now, back in the day, there was a music festival that gained quite a bit of notoriety, and it's still talked about to this day, and that's Woodstock. Well, while Woodstock was being performed and filmed and reported and all these other great things, there was another smaller venue, but no less prestigious. And that was taking place at the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival. So at this festival, we had a lot of people who probably were not invited or did not make it to Woodstock. We had Stevie Wonder, the great Mahalia Jackson, Nina Simone. How about that for you? Fifth Dimension, staple singers, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Sly and the Family Stone, and that's what they have listed on the Wikipedia page. Now, in addition to that, there were some other groups, a couple of them that I hadn't heard of, but there were some groups like, for instance, Edwin Hawkins and his singers. They were there. And quite a few others too. Very interesting slice of history. It's funny because the summer of '69 was the time I was born, actually. I was born in June of 1969. So very interesting time.
I wasn't a twinkle in anybody's
Wasn't even
eye.
a twinkle. Not yet. Not yet.
No.
Almost, but not quite.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you want to think of it as music that moves we, that was that festival.
It was that. It was really definitely that.
Yeah.
It was definitely that. And they got a pretty nice swath of genres. It has some gospel in there. Nina Simone, I don't really know how you classify Nina Simone. She's just great in whatever she does. She's jazzy, yeah. She's bluesy, she's classic.
Yeah, she's poetry.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. Yeah, and they had Sly and the Family Stone. Yeah, I mean it was all these who's who were involved in this this major event, and it wasn't just one show over the course of one weekend. It was several weekends that they did this, and yeah, man. So Questlove is from around your way. You know, you're not far from Philly. Right. And he's known, of course, as the drummer with the huge afro from the Roots. But this guy is constantly moving up and moving forward. I love his podcast show, Questlove Supreme. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Typically, though, they don't talk about movies. They usually talk about stuff involving music because, you know, he's also a DJ, a producer. He is one of the leaders of the Roots. But of course, because he sits on the kit and doesn't say a whole lot of people don't know a lot about him. But because of that humongous afro and because of his personality and the fact that he kind of gets around, people know who he is. I remember the first time I saw a video, which was Proceed. I shall proceed and continue to rock the mic. All right, back circa 90s. The very first thing that you recognize is this dude with that humongous afro, and he's sitting there like picking and chewing gum.
He's like a walking trademark.
Big time.
He's a walking trademark, really.
Big time. Yeah, and now he can add director to his list of credits.
but this was a well put together piece. I'll be honest, I couldn't sit down. I was walking back and forth, listening. This, for me, this wasn't something I could really watch.
Okay.
I was walking back and forth and listening. I was more tuned into the music because honestly, all of this was stuff I grew up hearing.
Oh, big time. Big time.
A lot of this was stuff I grew up hearing as a you know, and so stuff came on and I'd run back to the screen and like, oh yeah, in the day.
Yeah.
But the snippets in between, were just as important. And
big time.
You know, talking about the reason why the concert was even the music festival. I'm calling it a concert, but the reason why the music festival was even put together, it wasn't about, hey, let's bring these artists together just, you know, because heck, Black people like music. It's like, we gotta calm these people down because it's look, their leaders done got killed, their favorite leadership got killed, and we don't want them to burn this city down.
Yes.
So we gotta distract them. Was the main reason this was put together. And when it was over, they were like, treat this like Woodstock for what? Nah, put that in the vault.
Yeah, Woodstock got out of control too. No word about this the Harlem Festival getting out of control. No word on that.
As is always the case when we have
a lot of times. Now there are some times where you had like Watts riots and stuff like that, and then the LA riots. I was actually living in LA County at the time when that jumped off. But
that wasn't a concert.
That wasn't a concert. That was something totally different.
Million Man March.
Yes.
Okay. What broke out there? We were there with an intent and purpose, and we showed up.
Yep.
We had the peaceful gathering. There were people with vendors and whatnot, and it was the same with this. There were people there frying chicken, serving their wares, and it was a community event. And when it was all over, all right, there was trash everywhere, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, that's to be expected. Yeah.
Everybody went home.
Yeah, there were brothers hanging out in the trees.
Okay, because they wanted a good. They were like, "Hey, my name's Zacharias. I want to see what's going on." You know, they were there for a good time, and that's it. But again, when it was over, they couldn't sell this footage to anybody because
isn't that amazing?
Showing Black folks having a good time, that doesn't sell.
Isn't that amazing? And that's kind of sad, but but luckily it was unearthed. It was discovered.
Thank God it was preserved.
Yes.
Thank God it survived.
Yes, indeed, indeed, and definitely it's a good time capsule. I'm glad we got a chance to see. Like for instance, I never heard of the Chambers Brothers before. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I know quite a bit. I'm not going to say I know everything about music, folks. I'm not going to say that. A lot of people say I'm a walking encyclopedia of music and movies. Pardon?
You really are.
Yeah, but I'm a learning machine. So I'm constantly learning new stuff. So I never claim to know it all. I'm just a student of media. I like watching it. So I'm always learning something new. And I got a chance to learn something new. I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is really cool. And it was some good stuff, man. It was good stuff. And then thereafter, after he had done, because how he was doing the interviews, and you have Billy Davis and Marilyn McCoo, who were still together all these years later.
I love that segment.
Yeah. Well, he actually featured them on his on Questlove Supreme also. Oh, okay. So got a chance to listen to them say more about that and about how they left the fifth dimension and stuff like that. Yeah.
I have to check.
Yeah, I remember Marilyn McCoo.
They used to
Huh?
be on what show were they on? There were, you know, in the 80s there were a whole bunch of variety shows, and Marilyn
Yeah.
McCoo used to host
Yeah. She used to host Solid Gold.
Solid
Yep,
Gold, that
Solid
was it.
Gold. That's where a lot of people in my age group will remember her from.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But supposedly she and her husband, they actually had a variety show that was like a mid-season replacement for something else. They didn't do a lot of shows, but it was just something that they put in there really quickly and did that. But yeah, but she's more well known for Solid Gold because, of course, we remember Dionne Warwick had a season of it. You know, Marilyn McCoo had it for a little bit, and some other.
Donnie and Marie, I think, had a season.
No, not Solid Gold. So, I'm gonna have to look that up because I know Donnie and Marie had their own thing, their own show.
Maybe I'm getting that. Maybe I'm getting that confused. They might have been like the same time slot or something. But I remember Donnie and Marie, and then Solid Gold.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you this: Donnie and Marie were a lot of things, but funky they never have been. I said it. You
Donnie
heard it straight from
Donnie be trying.
Huh?
Donnie be trying.
Yeah, they were all trying because, on a side note, they were a competition for the Jacksons because you had a musical family, and the big deal was, you know, you got these two musical families, and of course, they had their variety shows and all this other stuff like that, and they had an audience, you know, but Jackson 5, man, or the Jacksons, period. Like the J5, they had their own cartoon later on.
Oh yeah.
you know. Yeah. But and I never fought over a Donnie and Marie lunchbox though. I tell you that. Yeah, I won't say that. But you know, the second part of the title, the subtitle, or when the revolution could not be televised. It actually points to Gil Scott-Heron, who sadly was not on the bill. I wish he would have been. Gil Scott-Heron, huh?
Can you imagine?
I know that would have been really good. But you know what? They probably didn't have him and the Last Poets, and they are not in the same group. A lot of people think that the Last Poets and Gil Scott-Heron, because they did a lot of venues together. And they were talking about a lot of similar revolutionary ideas through poetry. They were progenitors of rap, hip hop, and all that other stuff. But they also were quite revolutionary in a lot of the things that they were saying. So they probably kept them off the bill for a reason.
Right. Yeah. That's what they did not want in that space at that time.
Yeah. But Mavis Staples got out there and showed out. And this is before they had some of their bigger hits, like Respect Yourself and stuff like that. So the stuff that they were doing then was a lot more gospel tinged, more than the R&B soul aspect that they were doing. And the Staples singers are from Chicago. Matter of fact, I'll tell you something kind of amusing. My maternal grandfather, he had a thing for Mavis, and he used to always say he was going to marry Mavis Staples. Yeah, he surely did.
Oh man!
So you know, Miss Staples, Miss Mavis, if you're out there listening, you got that close to being my grandmother. Oh man!
Oh, that's funny.
Man,
you know, the part that got me was towards the end. I didn't catch the guy's name, but he said he remembered being at the concert. As a kid, he was like 8 or 9 years old, and when he started crying, he said, "You know, this just affirms that I was there." He says, "I remembered this.
It's like it was a dream."
Right, and that's what he said. He was like, I thought maybe that I just made this up, but here it is. It was real. It was real. And when I would tell people this happened, they didn't believe me. But
Yeah.
Here it is. And to have something so big in your lifetime happen, and until now, it was nowhere in history.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
only a small segment of people could speak to it and say, yeah, you remember that summer
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
this happened or that happened. And even the celebrities that were there didn't have anything to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that summer in
Isn't that
Harlem
something?
when we did that? I mean, for Pete's sake, Stevie Wonder was there.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
Jesse Jackson had the big sing along and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, people, the who's who of our community was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they couldn't, not to say they couldn't speak on it, but they
Yeah.
couldn't speak on it because there was nothing to back it up.
Until now. Until now. So
You know?
good on Questlove for finding that. Well, he didn't find it, but I'm saying, but for doing it justice and ensuring that it was seen for our generation and generations that
Wow.
go after us, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
He better get an award for this.
Actually, it's amazing that you mentioned that. Let me look this up real quick. It's already won a couple of smaller awards. Got the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival, and also at the same festival, the Audience Award. So, and this was just released officially in the United States. It was just released in June. So just last month, at the time that we're doing this, just last month. It's available on Hulu for any of you all who want to check it out. And of course, the director is Amir Questlove Thompson. We keep just referring to him as Questlove, but that's what he, is mainly known for.
Yeah.
But check this out. So, Questlove is going to, they announced that they were going to introduce the first trailer for the film during the 93rd Academy Awards. Okay. And he was the music director for for that award show, for the Academy Awards. So it's kind of amazing. It's really getting a lot of play. A lot of people are beginning to hear about it. And that's a great thing. That's a great, not knocking Woodstock by any means. Because you had a lot of folks on there like Santana and Jimi Hendrix in there getting it done. What's up?
No, it's not a competition. It's
right.
This is a part of history that just needs to be out there. Period.
Big time.
Period.
Yep.
But no, he needs an Academy Award, an NAACP Image Award. Throw a BAFTA his way. I mean, just all the accolades, just because wow, this is important.
And here's the deal, because I know Questlove is not quite as old as I am. Let me check and say, I think he's born in 71. Yeah, so he wasn't even alive yet. That was a year and a half before he was even born. That this was this was originally filmed. Right. But hey, I'm glad that he took the ball and ran with it.
Yeah.
That's important.
This is a true music lover.
Big time. Big time.
He went searching and digging for it.
Yep. And he got it. He got it. And it's well worth it. It's a nice time capsule. It's funny to see, Black folks dressed the way that we used to dress. Our mothers and our fathers at the time were dressing, and the different styles. Yeah, the afros were getting bigger.
The dancing.
Yep, dancing. All of that. It's a nice little time capsule.
Yeah.
Nice little time capsule.
For anyone who watches this, definitely, the people tell you, oh no, you got to stay for the very end of a Marvel movie. No, you got to stay for the very end of this, because people will always tell you about Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
That he's a prankster. I just didn't realize that he was a prankster that young.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was watching it and I was like, really, Steveland? Really?
Steveland
Really?
Morris.
I was cracking up. I was like, this man's ready to fight you if you don't cut it out right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. You got to watch it to the end to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And what he said afterward, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know what? You didn't have to do that. But I was cracking up.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this was definitely worth the watch. Yeah, definitely worth the watch. So out of 5 stars, we're going to start doing the 5 stars instead of the 10 stars. Yeah, okay. Let's do the 5, because 5 is an uneven number, which makes it a little bit easier, you know, or what have you. But out of 5 stars, what would you give this?
This is 5, and it goes on my repeat watch list.
Good stuff. Same here. Same here. Definitely worth checking out. And I love music anyway. So, and I love old school music. So there we go. There we go. And I grew up on many of the artists that were performing. Definitely the Hawkins, you know, because Walter Hawkins is better known. More people know who Walter Hawkins was because of Love Alive 1, 2, and 3, and on and on and on. But his brother Edwin Hawkins was doing some things also. You know, Sly and the Family Stone. Man, listen, a lot of people don't really know where to put Sly and the Family Stone because they were such an integrated band back at the time, and they were doing things. And for instance, like Cynthia, which was the trumpet player, she assumed what would be considered a more masculine role in the group because you didn't see a lot of ladies playing horns,
right? And
you know, and on and on. You would see them singing background, and you know, maybe playing the keyboards like how sister, Sly's sister would play, and then like this, you would see that more often. But yeah, Cynthia was no joke and is no joke still. Yeah. But yeah, awesome movie. Got a chance to see Mahalia perform. The late great Mahalia Jackson. And you know, and got a nice amount of like different types of music, not just one type of music. It wasn't just funk, wasn't just soul. You know, we had some gospel in there. We had some, you know, some blues. We had, you know,
the range of genres. We Black folks are not a monolith.
Yes, we're not.
And that showed.
Yep. Again, once again.
Right.
Once again. Surprise. Yeah. You know.
and even and again, Marilyn McCoo spoke to that. She was like, you know, they got to see us. They, you know, people didn't realize we were a Black group.
They thought they were white. Yeah. Yeah.
They were like, what's going on? And once we performed, we gained acceptance.
Yeah. Let the sun shine. Yeah.
You know, so it was like, oh, okay. Because by the time I heard them, I was okay with what I was hearing.
Of course. They had been accepted by then.
Right. It was played on the radio like, oh, okay. Right. It's no big deal. But to think that at one point people were cutting them side eye like,
oh, yeah.
Who are you? Where you think you going?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know. So lots to learn, lots to get familiar with.
Yes.
Definitely. If you haven't seen it, cue it up, grab some popcorn. You might not be able to sit down. It's okay.
Bring the kids with you. Bring the kids with you. Let the kids watch it too. It's a slice of history.
Listen, they need to learn where the stuff they're hearing on the radio now, where it's getting sampled from.
Big time.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got some thumbs up for this one. Very good documentary. Very good movie, but very good documentary. Yeah. So check us out.
Sorry.
Check us out on Facebook. We have a group called Movies That Move We. Make sure if you want to join us that you answer the questions, all questions. You don't answer the questions, you don't get in. And we do that to try to limit the amount of spam and just people who are just in the group just hanging on and gathering information, robots and all that other stuff.
Right.
Also, follow your mods. Follow your mods. So you can find me at donmisskill.com, and you can find Nikkei at Nikkei, at NikkeiWrites.wordpress.com. Yeah, and that's not Nike, it's Nikkei. It's pronounced Nikkei. Yeah, right. And also, as our show comes on, you hear theme music, which is called Unmasked, and it's by Robert Rice Jr. You can follow him at smoothology.net. Check him out because he has a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff. Yeah.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please. Check us out. Share us. Tell people about us. Join us. And that's it for now. That's it for now.
We'll be back with more.
Yes, we shall.
So until next time, see you later.
Au revoir.